destroying opposition. Soaring through competition, game Philly when they've been wishing. Eagles fly high, team, Eagles fly high, dream, Eagles fly high, dream.
Hey, welcome to the Book of Dad Radio Show. I'm Dr. Robert Benson. As always, before we get started, we want to say thank you to God and thank you for everything that he does. I'm hanging out with my main man, Eddie G, the Eister. What's up, Ed?
What's up, brother?
Not much.
The Eister is in the house, man.
The Eister's in the house. Iceberg, Icicle, Iceman. Here, you got it. Hey, Ed, what a great time for Philadelphia sports, huh?
Oh, man, it's amazing. Hey, it's like the perfect storm, man.
I know, it's right. We've got Phillies in the World Series. The Eagles are 6-0 with a bye week. Sixers, we got to find out how they're going to end up, right? So, but it's a great time. Yeah, it's a great time to be a part of sports in Philadelphia. Today, we're talking to a guy by the name of TR Godbold. And Tamiko, to me, has touched on two things that I think are essential to people gathering and doing what they need to do together. I've always said that there's three things that we do that bring people together. One of them is music. The other one is sports. And unfortunately, the other thing is death and, real significant family events. Well, Mr. Tamiko, or TR as he likes to be called, kind of hits on two of those things for us, music and sports. So without any further ado, we're going to say hello there to TR and get him to talk a little bit about what he got going on. Hey, TR, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on, fans? TR here. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. But how are you doing?
I'm doing good. And what's up to Eddie?
What's up, brother? Hey, let me say this.
Over here.
Let me cut in for a second.
Okay.
I've known this brother for a long time, and he's a real positive influence, a great individual, and I'm gonna go back a little history before we bring him in.
Okay.
I met him. Actually, I did work for him. I want to say 20 years ago. Has it been that long?
Wow.
Because he's
Something
an
like
inventor as well as a musician and a coach and all those things. And I worked with him on one of his inventions years ago. But sorry to break in there, but tell us about yourself, Tamiko, and what you're doing right now.
Well, I just completed a song that I created for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a highly motivational song. And although the Eagles are undefeated and they're expressing their greatness, I think that this song was like tailor-made for their character. So the song is titled Breathe and Bleed Green. And that goes out to all those people out there that bleed and bleed green because they love those Eagles.
Like Dr. Robert Benson.
Yeah. Y'all don't see this, do you?
Oh, man. Wow, that's right.
Hey, TR. Yeah, I love the fact that you are doing music that's motivational. As a matter of fact, you fit into that category that Ed and I often call Renaissance man. All these things that you're able to do. But you were sharing a story about how songs you've written before has motivated other people who are kind of outside on the margins in sports. Share that story you shared with me a few minutes ago.
All right. I think it was, well, I'm sure it was the 2016 Olympics. I noticed that the shot putters, may it be the women's team or the men's team, but the men's team had been on a drought. They hadn't won the gold in 3 years. 12 years, excuse me. And the women's team had never won the gold in the history of the Olympics. So I wanted to think outside the box and create a song that would motivate the shot putters. And I think I mentioned it to a couple of my friends at home. They were like, why are you going to make a song about the shot putter? Why don't you do basketball or football? But I just wanted to be different. And I wanted to create something that would motivate them to push past their greatness. Because if you're an Olympian, you're already great. So I wanted to create, I like to say, invent a song that would push them past that greatness barrier and strive for even more. And what do you know? I mean, that same year, I got the song to them. They loved it. And the men's and women teams simultaneously brought home gold medals.
Wow.
And, you know, that had never happened in the history of the Olympics. And like I said earlier, the women's team had only one medal under their belt, and that was a bronze medal. And like I said, the men's team had been on a drought. They hadn't won a gold in 12 years. So it feels good to know that my song, my invention, is a part of Olympic history. So, I mean, I'm still losing sleep thinking that, wow, my premonition came true. I predicted that this song would help motivate them, and it looks as if that's the way it went down.
Right. Well, it sounds like some clairvoyance going on there. But you know, you're not just, I mean, you're not, the lens that you're speaking through or writing through or whatever is not just as a writer. You're an athlete yourself. Share some of the your athletic experience with us before we take a quick break.
Okay, I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I played high school football for school named Henry Ford. And I went out for 1 year. I made all-state first team. Then from there, I got a full scholarship to Oklahoma State University. Stayed there a year, didn't know if that was the place for me. Decided to transfer to a junior college called Rock Valley College. I was there a year. Obtained my associates from there, but at the same time, I made junior college All-American also there. And Temple recruited me. And what I loved about Temple was the inner city life. And like I said, I'm from Detroit, so I felt as if I fit right in. And so Temple gave me my second full scholarship. I did suffer some injuries at Temple that set me back. But other than that, I did obtain my bachelor's degree in sociology. So that's the positive in it. So from there, I decided to do a little acting. So got in a couple of movies, well, a few, Unbreakable, Bottom Feeders, and White Man Can't Rap. And that was a cool experience. And then from there, I got a connection with, I think around that time, LeBron James was coming out with his clothing line, and he need tall male models. So I was picked to be one of the models to model his clothing. So I got a chance to meet him. And from there, with sports in my heart and music in my soul, I was inspired to start creating sports related music.
So, well, listen, we're gonna get some more of that story on the Book of Dad radio show. You get us wherever you get your podcast, thanks to the main man, Eddie G. But we'll be right back and we'll finish picking the brains of TR. We'll be right back.
See why listeners from over 150 countries around the world follow the Book of Dad radio show. Join Dr. Robert Benson and Eddie G as they chat with special guests who share their stories and information that will change your life. Watch and listen on lifeandspiritonline.com or subscribe to the Book of Dad radio show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the NASCA Network.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Book of Dad Radio Show. Dr. Robert Benson and me, Eddie G. Today we have super athlete, inventor, coach, motivator, musician, TR Godbold. And, he was breaking down his part of his journey to us. I had a question for you, TR, which is, in creating music for sports, for the Olympics and others, have you had any contact with maybe the NFL or NBA, anything like that?
Well, yes. I created a song titled Up and Down. And, this song is speaking about the running back running out of the backfield once he catches a pitch. And the defensive members that he has to run through, make miss in order to score a touchdown. And I think if you listen to each word, that you'll get the visual as if you're the running back running through the defense.
But the way that you create these songs and the descriptive nature that you use, what inspires you? Like, do you wake up in the middle of the night and you're sweating and your wife says, "What's wrong with you, man? You're running for a touchdown?"
Having a flashback or something like that?
Yes. Yes. Well, the motivation behind creating sports-related music, I think, is the passion that you have for the game. And I think I found a way, since I no longer play anymore, found a way to express that passion through the music. And yes, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I jot stuff down and I feel like I'm still running from some of those linemen or whatever.
Well, speaking of passion and different things that motivate you, you talked about the fact that you played at Temple, and Temple is a part of the Big East, right? Some great schools and some great athletes have come out of that conference that are household names, if you will. I know that you have come in contact with a few of them. Have you ever been able to take down some big names that you want to share with us?
Well, I did get a chance to play against McNabb at Syracuse. I played against Michael Vick at VTech. Edger and
There weren't
James
no dogs on the field when he played, was it?
Pardon me? Is there a D?
Eddie, can I say that?
Yeah, you could say that. He said, "Were there any dogs on the field?" We were playing Michael Vick.
No, I didn't notice any. It could have been a few, but I didn't notice any. But I will tell you this: one of the best running backs that I played against while playing at Temple University. When we played against Miami, I mean, Edger and James, I was engaged with the offensive tackle. I defeated his block. I did a spin move, but I reached out to grab Edger and James. And I realized, like, this guy almost took my arm off. The whole right side of my body went to sleep, down to my toes. So I realized that you got to be in a good position to hit this guy. And also, who else did I play? I think, I also played Penn State too. And I think their quarterback, I think his last name was McQuarrie. I did get a sack on that guy. So I think Jurevicius was their receiver that year. Very good receiver.
Yeah, he's a good receiver. He was in the NFL. Yeah.
So yeah, thinking back, I played against some key names back then and some powerhouses too, even Boston College.
TR, let me ask you this, man. You're a guy that's been in the throes and the thicks of the high level of athleticism in football. Where do you see the NFL headed? Do you think that we're on a path that is a little bit more amenable to everybody? Because I know a couple of years ago, the NFL was at odds with a lot of people. Do you see that changing, or do you think that there's still some tension there between a certain demographic of people in the NFL?
I think it's changing, but of course, I think it's going to change slowly.
Excuse me.
And I don't think they're just going to give in, So yeah, it's going to change pretty slow, but I think that change has to happen based on the demographics of what America is becoming now, as far as minorities being the majority. So I think that I think they're changing, but they're going to slow walk it.
Hey, there's a lot of history there. And as you said, things have to change one step at a time. We just hope the pace is picked up. It's a little bit quicker.
Exactly.
So we're
I
going to take
agree.
another quick break. We'll be right back with TR Godbold and Dr. Robert Benson on the Book of Dad Radio Show.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, I'm Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I want you to spread the word to your family members and friends to listen to LesBrownGreatnessRadio.com. Absolutely. And let me share with you why we're going to be focusing on positive things, because whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And now more than ever, when the suicide rate has increased over 33%, when the suicide rate of young children between 5 and 11 has doubled, people feeling hopeless and stressed out and powerless. We need programming that can bring out the greatness in them. And that's what we will be focused on. When you listen, it will be an experience that will transform your life. LesBrownGreatnessRadio.com. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, welcome back. Book of Dad Radio Show. I'm Dr. Robert Benson with my main man, Eddie Ice G. And we're talking to TR Godbold, a guy who's given us some great information. And he's as I said, he's kind of a Renaissance guy. But real quick, before we get into this last section, I want to make sure everybody remembers that your civic duty is upon you again. It's time to vote. Get out there and make sure your voice is heard. I know Eddie G and I have. What about you, TR? Have you voted yet?
I make sure to vote. Always.
All right, cool. Cool. Hey, you're a lyricist, obviously, but we want to make sure won't you do us a favor, man? Because I know I'm a staunch Eagles fan. I have been since I was a kid, and I know Eddie has done this too. The Eagles used to practice at Widener College in Chester, Pennsylvania, and every day at their camps, I would be out there. I mean, we would water, carry the chains for them. We did all kind of stuff. So yeah, the helmets, everything. I mean, it was something that we did and loved it as kids. You know what I mean? So you got this song that you want to sing about them. Now, one more thing, man. We just got a linebacker from the Bears, too. A linebacker from the Bears. Just got traded to the Eagles. So I think we showing things up. But enough about that. I want to hear some lyrics from this song, TR. Talk to us.
Eagles fly high. Eagles fly high, high. So that's part of the hook. And then it goes into the first verse where it speaks about the offense. How the running backs are like magicians. So it would go like Eagles fly high, Eagles fly high. And I start off by saying the birds crush opposition with Eagles' intuition, tremendous ambition when the offense is clicking. QBs pass with precision like surgical technicians, running back like magicians, got the defenses missing. We fast like jet engines, smell our emissions. So that's a little touch of the first one. The first.
Hey,
verse.
don't make me spit some rhymes out here, man.
And you heard it first. You heard it first. Man, I am so stoked to hear that when it comes out. But listen, you said you already gave some good love and some good karma to some shot putters. Hopefully this song will have the same impact on the Eagles. All right. So let's dig back into you. We're going to drill down into you a little bit more, TR. We want to find out a little bit more about you. How can we get a hold of your stuff? How can we get a hold of you? What you got coming up in the near future? Talk to us.
Well, in the future, yes, I want to create more music. I want to land a contract with like the NFL, may it be basketball, whatever. I can create songs that motivate just about every sport you can think of. It's all creativity. And like I say, it's you're inventing the song. I like to use the word inventing the song because you're just figuring out a way to tie each word, make it make sense, and tell the story. So those are my hopes. And I know that it's going to happen. You know, I mean, the NFL picked up one of my songs. The Olympics did too. So I want to dig a little bit deeper in this, see how far I can go with it.
That's good.
And like I said, this Eagles song, they're already flying high. I think that, you know, this song would even push them past greatness.
Well, we need that, right, Dr. Rob?
Absolutely.
we need another Super Bowl.
I know, exactly, another Super Bowl ring. Hey, but listen, I know you talked about some of the other people that you've interacted with, and we think there's some outstanding stuff. The thing that I find the most impressive about you is that when we talk to you and we listen to you, we see that there's so many different things to you. Okay, so one last time before we break off, and Eddie's going to share some information about how to get with the Book of Dad radio show, how to listen to us, how to subscribe, and all those types of things. You said, now, how do we get a hold to you? What is your handle, if you will, on, do you have a YouTube handle, not YouTube, but a Twitter handle and all those kinds of things? How can we find out, or how can we get a hold of you?
Okay, you can find all my songs on SoundCloud.
Okay.
Under TR Godbold. You can also find me on Instagram.
And,
cool.
I just wanted to also, before we wrapped up here, mention the motivational part of this, because speaking with TR many times, he's a motivational speaker. He is a positive person. And I guess that's where the energy from the lyrics come from. He's always trying to help others, help young people. One of your goals is to create a program for young people. So a lot of things that you're doing are positive, and they fit right into the guests that we like to have on the Book of Dad radio show. So we appreciate you coming out today and being on board with us. I also wanted to mention, everybody out there, you can now visit the Book of Dad or bookofdad.net. Follow us on social media at Book of Dad Radio, and get more of these great guests, more of these great interviews, and reach out to us if you think you should be on our show.
And thank you so much, Eddie. Again, TR, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to talk to people like yourself, as Eddie said, who are highly motivational for our listenership and guests. Well, as usual, I want to close out the show with a quote. And as I talked before about voting, and I'll just say this: for every staunch advocate, there exists an intense adversary. It's Book That Radio Show. I'm Dr. Robert Benson. And we'll talk to you next time.